Yay! Mickey taking it by a fair amount right there. Overall, about 52.5%. Limping second at 37.3%. And then really the other three, not really a competition in the sense of competing with those top two at least. So congratulations to Mickey, though, winning yet another award here. He, of course, won the most entertaining player as well as now best middle/ganker player. So Mickey doing the work there, getting some fan love. And should I even try again? Let's see if
Mate, they're gonna hate you so badly.
Eventually, they have to respond, right?
You know they are actually in the same stream, like since we started. I'm pretty sure.
This is what makes it great. Let's see if you.
No, they said they went. They said they went into a different one because they were in the drafting phase before.
Yeah, it must have been a new one.
The other team probably got so aggressive. So
let's see if Mickey answers here. He didn't answer the last time.
God damn it, Mickey.
Mickey's the shy one.
Doesn't seem like it.
I know, right? When he's playing, you know, he's having a great time. But
use that new portal key and get on over here.
Seriously.
Come on,
if he doesn't answer, then he doesn't get the portal key in the forum. So.
Right.
It's his loss, right?
Or the prize money.
There's none of that. There was no prize money.
Oh,
all right.
Lies are so much fun.
It doesn't look like Mickey is going to answer.
Damn it, Mickey.
We tried. We tried. All right, well, Mickey, though, winning the best middle/ganker, so congratulations to Mickey right here. All right. Let's move on. We are down to three more categories. Three more categories left right here, guys. And the next one in line going to be the best carry player of the year. Always a fun one to look at. Yeah, the best carry player. Let me get the nominees up for you guys 1 second. There we go. Best carry player. Of course, we're looking at names like Fuzi, Flensmeister, Imbaboy, Haxerin, Baltazar, and Beaverbanger. A 6-player list here. Again, another pretty tough one. They all had their shining moments, no doubt, and respectable carries in their own right. So we'll start on the other side here. St. Rocks, let's start with you. Who would you vote for best carry?
It's a tough one. Obviously, we have a lot of newcomers. Baltasar, Beaverbanger, not people you have heard about too much before, like later on in 2014. And we got Haxerin, who was very dominant in the early 2014, if I remember correctly. And Imbaboy being recent gaming. I mean, of course, I know where we were. They're probably better than most. And then we got Flensmeister and Fuzi. Fuzi obviously a little touchy-feely there, unfortunately. But I'm gonna go with Flens because Flens can do everything. Like they can give him any role. Like they can give him Kraken, they can give him SpongeBob, they can give him anything, and it will work. He will just make it work in his lane, and that's just that's incredible. Like I think that guy has so many. He's so versatile. It just like compared to the other guys that just plays hard carries for the most part, I think Flens is standing out there. So I'm gonna go with Flens.
All right, Mini Maggot, who'd you got?
I don't know. Again, it's a close one. Flensmeister, obviously a great carry hero. He's been playing, or maybe a couple of months ago, he was playing a lot less carries per se, and more sort of solo shorts like Polywog Priest and things like that. But I mean, to me, I have to give it to Fuzi. Like, not because obviously the sympathy vote or whatever it is. Like the player, he was just so good. Like you think of BMG, and there's one particular game where it makes me just fall in love with Fuzi, and that was his Soul Stealer game. I think that was against. It might have been. I can't remember exactly what game it was, but like whenever he got on Soul Stealer, like his ultimates were just on point, man. And he'd wreck every single game. And like when you think of nostalgia, I think of like Fuzi and Soul Stealer, man, and he was on it. Yeah, I think it has to go to Fuzi. Like he played so well, and like that's what he did. He would carry his team, and that's what the term defines it as. Like whenever it was getting to the late game, it'd be him who would pull out the victory for his team. So it has to be Fuzi.
SpongeBob Troll. Okay, Quincy. What do you for you?
Sorry. You guys are probably saying things of value. I was listening, I promise. Yeah, I agree with many. It's Fuzi. You think BMG was a good team when they were Lions. They were never really the best team. They were kind of competitive, and then they dropped Flensmeister. They pick up Pee-wee, actually, and then they win a cycle. And then they drop Pee-wee and pick up Fuzi, which I thought was the dumbest thing ever. You just won a cycle with a brand new carry player, and you're going to replace him again? Like, seriously? And then over the next 6 months, Fuzi's like, yeah, there's a reason for that. You look at the BMG team before and after they picked up Fuzi, it's pretty clear what the difference was, and sure, they got better, and sure, they got more cohesive as a team, but the addition of that player turned BMG from a good team to the only team that could realistically pose a challenge to stay green. So when a single player has that sort of impact, it's kind of difficult to pick anybody else. He takes my vote.
Yeah. I notice a lot of people in chat bringing up the lack of Chessie, and I think it's a fair point. He probably, you could say he probably should have been a nominee, but at the same time, whether this should have hurt him or not, but honestly, I don't. When I think of stay green in the later part of season 2, especially, and ultimately winning it, it wasn't because of Chessie. It wasn't because of his carry play. If anything, he wasn't necessarily playing these hard carry heroes. I mean, that was Stay Green's style, to not pick those kind of lineups, more of just team-centric. What we've seen a lot from Sync, honestly, lately. The Dr. Pulsar style, the more team fight-oriented heroes for that carry player. So, I do think that it is right to at least bring it up, and maybe he should have honestly been a nominee, but in my mind, he definitely should not have won this category. So just to give a take on that real quickly. But as far as the actual winner, the one that I voted for, I did go with Fuzi in the end. Like you were talking about, Quincy, with just the impact that he had for that team, and especially with them picking up Pee-wee, like you said, and then winning a cycle, and then dropping then to pick up Fuzi, and we're like, wait a second, what are they doing here? Especially, Pee-wee at the time was a very known player, very entertaining player. Thought it was a dumb decision, but it clearly proved to work out in the long run, and he was a big part for their ultimate success in Season 2 in the later part of it. So definitely deserving of not only the nomination, but again, my vote there as far as taking this category. So let's see what the
apparently they didn't win a cycle. I thought they did win a cycle with Pee-wee as their new carry player after Flens.
I honestly don't think they did. I was kind of going off what you're saying there, but
okay, I thought they did. Apparently they finished second, but that was still like way better than they'd done. They looked a lot better.
They did well with him. Yeah,
with Pee-wee.
Yeah, with Pee-wee, he was in the team that was the first team to bring down Stay Green after like 80 game win streak.
Yeah, that must have been it. Yeah, that must have been it.
He played the Gemini and just absolutely got like ridiculous GPM.
Yeah.
It was pure. Yeah.
Anyways, all right. So the winner of the best carry category, it goes to Fuzi. Fuzi did take it in the end, as you see right there. The overall percentage, 39.6%. Flensmeister, the runner-up, at 32.7% about, and then Beaver Banger in that third place spot of about 11% or so. So, congratulations to Fuzi. Obviously, unfortunately, the passing of him earlier this year, a really tough time for competitive pawn scene, and I know myself and a lot of his friends and whatnot, and the other competitors definitely just overall a really good guy, and like we talked about even when we were nominating him, it's like, so it's gonna be a sympathy vote. I mean, not really. He really does deserve this category.
Good, that's harsh to say, honestly. Yeah, because he was so good. Like, you think of him on Soul Still, you think of him on Moon Queen. Like, man, that guy was the definition of carry, possibly.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations to Fuzi, obviously, for taking the 2014 Best Carry Award for the Honk competitive scene. So, all right, we got the last two categories coming at you, and these are the big dogs here. These are the big dogs. We got, of course, Most Valuable Player as well as Best Team Award. So we'll start with the Most Valuable Player here. And pull up that poll real quickly as far as the nominees go. Again, this had a list that looks like, I believe, 8 in total. Yeah, 8 nominees in total, and of course, we even had more than that we had to break down from initially for the nominee list. This was a tough one, as always is going to be. when it comes to most valuable player. So there are the nominees. All right, so this is what we're dealing with here. Again, we got Swindelmelons, who was the returning champion. Limp, Jonathan Fan, Handskin, Probust, Keizu, Zlapt, and Mickey. That was the 8-man list for most valuable player. Now, I always bring this up, but to reiterate once again with this category especially, this is always a very, up for interpretation category as far as the voter goes. There's many ways to look at it. You can look at it from the side of how do they impact the team. If you were to remove that player from the team, how would they do? You can look at it just raw stats, how we did overall. There's so many ways to really look at this category. And again, it's ultimately up to the voters. That's what makes this one especially really extra interesting. So, most valuable player, though, well, we'll start off here. St. Rocks, we'll start with you. Who did you vote for most valuable player?
I voted for Hanskin. Due to my,
Is he handsome?
I feel like I don't know, that was part of it, but also because I know how big of a factor he was. I mentioned that earlier, how big of a factor he was for BMG, and of course, Swindelmelons is also up there as a great captain. Absolutely. These are all amazing players that have done a lot of work for the teams, and it's honestly a tough category to me, but I'm gonna go with Hanskin for his leadership, and because he's handsome. There we go.
All right.
Hanskin skin.
Mini Maggot, who'd you get?
Again, quite close, but I think as its most valuable player, I think it definitely has to go back to Swindelmelons again. Like, obviously, like Mickey is. If you're talking about best player on the team right now, I think it's going to be Mickey. I think even probably Swindelmelons would probably agree as well. Like Mickey might have been probably better than him in terms of raw mechanical skill, but Hon is a lot more than just mechanical skill. It's what do you add to the game in terms of like game knowledge, and not only that, but leadership. But not only that, leadership and just kind of theoretics and things like that. And I think Swindelmelons added so much more as a player than I think anyone else did, and that's why it was the big success of Stay Green. We've talked about obviously when he was best captain, but this really echoes into most valuable player as well. Like if you take one person away from the whole team, who would be affected more? I think that would be Stay Green with Swindle.
Quincy?
I have pretty similar thoughts. The only person I actually was going to be serious competition for Swindle here is somebody that didn't make the list, and that's Boozy again. But in terms of the people that were actually there, it is, I think it's got to be Swindelmelons. The guy is to his team more than any other individual player. Like Minnie said, he built Stay Green. He took them from being a thoroughly mediocre team. He recruited the talent. He developed some of it as well. Keizu used to be their carry player, and he put him on the suicide role after he picked up Slicks, and then they lost Slicks and Keizu, and then they put Chessie from the jungle, he was the best jungle player, and they put him on Carrick. That was insane, but they picked up Minot. So his ability to keep mixing and matching extremely high-tier talent is pretty insane. I don't think we've seen too many role switches that significant in terms of top-tier players like that. That's just not all that common, because once you're that good, you tend to stick on the same role. But Swindelmelons knew how to manipulate his players. He knew how to draft. God knows he knew how to draft. And he was a good player. Like I don't think people. It's fair that he wasn't right. He wasn't the best mid. I think by any means. But he was a good player. He was not a person you look at and you're like, oh well, okay, he's there because he can draft and because he's a good captain. No, he knew how to play mid, and he was able to transition to the suicide role once they started switching some things around, and they were still successful. So, in all facets of the game, Swindelmelons was a very, very good player, and I don't see any name on that list that I think, man, if I could have the #1 overall pick and I was drafting a team, who do I take? It's easily Swindle.
That's a great way to look at it, I think, as far as the way you said at the end there. If for whatever reason we just did like a random player draft of all these people that were nominated, it's like, who of these players would you choose as #1? For me too, it'd be Swindelmelons. There's no.
And then I let him pick. And then I let him pick the other 4.
The rest, yeah. But I also like what you're stating too. I was going to bring it up as well. So when it comes to just individual skill, individual talent, he's up there. he wasn't the best middle player, but by all means. In fact, I think you look at the list of nominees on the best middle player, you could argue that all those other players were, in a sense, better than him at that specific role, even. But when it came to just the impact that he had for his team and what he did for not only himself but the scene as a whole, how he shifted the meta to an extent time after time again because of his strategies, very, very deserving of such a category. So obviously, there's also a player like Mickey on the list too. Is going back to the Chew factor when it comes to individual, just simply skill. Now, if that's how the category was based off, just simply pure skill, I think Mickey would win this category, or should win this category even. But because of the most valuable player aspect to it, I think I would have to go Swinamelons in the end. So, all right, I think it's time to reveal the most valuable player for 2014. And boy, oh boy, what another close one this was. And I mean freaking close. The winner for 2014 Most Valuable Player was Mickey. Mickey of Sync Esports did take it. And by close, I mean damn close. It was literally 0.26% different between him and Swinamelons. 18.98 for Mickey, 18.72 for Swinamelons, and then 16.86 for Hanskin. Hanskin got third place. He, too, was very close, within just over 2%. So this, as again you would expect, a very, very, very tight category. But in the end, Mickey takes it as far as the most valuable player for 2014. So another young prodigy on the scene winning this award. Of course, Zai, who I'm referring to, of 2 years ago, also winning at the very young age, but deservingly so. So dare I try to get him in once again? I mean, this guy's now won 3 different categories,
He's
including
gotta show up for MVP,
most
man.
valuable player. Like, he's got to show up, right? I mean,
Gotta show up for MVP. He's not gonna show up.
Oh my gosh! Come on.
He's not gonna show up. Get Insania in here.
Yeah, just get somebody else on his team.
Gotta get somebody.
For him.
Get the rest of Sync. We've had them all, pretty much.
All right. Well, he's not answering.
Unbelievable.
No.
Oh, no. Oh my God.
Ooh, yes.
What?
He actually answered the call. Mickey?
Yeah?
How's it going?
It's pretty good. Pretty bad scrims, but still.
Hey. Well, you have reason to feel good because I'm sure you know by now, but you've won now a third category. You won initially the most entertaining player. You won the best mid player, and now you just won most valuable player of 2014. That's got to feel pretty good, right?
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
I feel I don't.
mean,
Maybe.
normal
You
Wednesday.
feel like you don't deserve it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I feel like there's better players, but yeah.
Well, there's a reason why you're being voted for. How is it having all these fans?
It feels pretty good. I mean, it's always fun to entertain people and play for like the viewers. Yeah.
Are you looking forward to 2015?
A little bit. I mean, we'll probably just play Thailand and then leave. To be honest.
You play Thailand and leave. Leave where?
Dota 2, probably.
Oh,
Why would you do that?
It's $40,000.
I mean, it's not my standard Wednesday. I mean,
Anyways, all right. Well, Mickey, congratulations on the 2014 Most Valuable Player Award. Is there anything you do want to say to your fans? Any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout out to my team. I don't think without them I would be the same player I am today. Also shout out to my family for supporting me, friends, fans who's watching right now, and you guys.
All right. Well, thank you. And let's just say that there's a good amount of time in between now and Thailand for minds to change. So I'm sure something can happen. All right, Mickey. Thanks again. Appreciate it. We'll be seeing you in Cycle 7.
Yep.
All right. There we go.
What an interview. Are you watching Twitch chat right now? I really, really hope so.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
He kind of dropped the bomb, didn't he?
Kind of dropped the bomb. I mean, yeah, it's no secret that, you know, Sync has made it pretty clear as far as a as a team. Now, I don't want to, you know, put words in the mouth or anything like that, but I mean, there's been talk. There's been talk out there that, you know, after Thailand, who knows what's going to happen. You know, because we all don't necessarily know. There isn't anything that's obvious on the board. So, hey, the facts state that this has been the most successful Hontour season so far, especially when it comes to prize pool. It's going to be a fun ride here. We got Cycle 7 and 8 coming up. We got the playoffs to follow, and then, of course, the World Finals. On top of that, it's going to be a lot of fun to come. So, hey, you know, who knows what the future holds, but it's going to be a great finish nonetheless, and that's what matters as far as that's concerned. So, but Mickey, despite what was said, he does definitely deserve that 2014 award, and maybe even a nominee, I'm sure, especially for 2015 of next year. So, all right, we got one more category now going to be coming at you here as far as this is concerned. We got the ultimate category. The one that only had 3 nominees, and for good reason, is we're talking about the best team of the year. The best team of the year award. Again, only 3 nominees. And those were, of course, you got Sync Esports, you got Stay Green, and you got Bad Monkey Gaming. The Hontour Season 2 Bad Monkey Gaming. Gotta clarify that. I think it's pretty obvious in this case, but just to make a point of that, of course. So, Stay Green, Bad Monkey Gaming, and Sync Esports, the 3 nominees for Hontour Season 3, or for 2014, I should say, Honcast Community Awards Best Team of the Year. This is going to be a fun one. I mean, Stay Green, of course, they are the returning champions. But, you know, we were talking about this as far as when we were going to the candidates and then kind of getting an idea from one another of who we would go for. It's
tough.
It really, because, you know, off the top of your head, you may think, okay, yeah, Stay Green. But at the same time, I mean, sure, they won the only major LAN event of the year, so that definitely gives them a good amount of ammunition. But at the same time, BMG was ultimately more successful than Stay Green in 2014, other than the World Finals victory that, of course, they ended up getting the runner-up in. So as far as the season went, and then even through the playoffs and everything, you know, they had a lot of success there. And then, of course, you got Sync Esports who's doing their thing now in what is Hontour Season 3. So there's a lot of comparisons to make, a lot of interpretations up to the voter. And we'll see what you guys voted for. So we'll start with St. Rocks once again. St. Rocks, who did you vote for?
I mean, I love my BMGs. It's not that, but I think Stay Green was giving them a rough time when they were still around. So I think I'm gonna have to give that to Stay Green. It feels right. BMG, they turned into a very successful team, definitely, after Stay Green kind of left. I'm just wondering if that would have happened if Stay Green had stuck around. So yeah. I'm gonna go with Stay Green. Yeah.
Minnie?
Yeah, I would have to agree as well. Like, BMG, great team, but to me, it's all about like legacy and kind of history. And like, you think of the best team in Hom, Fnatic comes up, but at the end of the day, it's Stay Green. Like, it just really is. Like, they have never lost a LAN event. Like, that to me, obviously when they're actually in the Stay Green brand, like, that to me is the biggest thing. Like, and you know, online tournaments are one thing, but when the going gets tough and what it really matters is those LANs. You know, you're in the final, it's clutch, you know, the crowd's watching you. It's all about, you know, can you keep it under pressure? And Stay Green, even if they went behind in a couple of clutch games, they would be renowned for bringing it back and keeping their cool. And that, to me, that shows championship sort of mentality. That shows just clear to me that they were the best team.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Quincy, what about you?
Yeah, I think there's good arguments for all 3 of these teams. SG hit a peak that neither of the 2 others did. They won a LAN, and that's a huge deal. When they were in the scene, they were pretty consistently considered the best team. On the other hand, BMG were taking it to them in the online tournaments, especially towards the end of Season 2. They were consistently winning. And then BMG also stuck around for longer than SG did and played CIC and the first cycle of Season 3. And that matters. Like, being a really, really great team for 3 months is fantastic, but would this be the same conversation if SG had stuck around for the rest of the year and didn't do well? Like, they went out at the peak of their ability, and it's really easy to judge them only on how good they were, but if you don't play the other 9 months of the year, that's not exactly a great thing just because you didn't have the opportunity to fail. So they're getting some credit for that. And then BMG are sort of in the middle between their peaks weren't quite as high as SG's. They're probably a little bit higher than Sync's, but they stuck around for most of the year. But actually, I went with Sync in the end because they did play a full year. That's really important to me. I think it matters that they were in the back end of Season 2. They beat BMG in the Season 2 playoffs, and I think people forget that. That was a slightly different Sync team.
True.
But Denial, essentially X-Denial, or whatever they were calling themselves back then, they did have a victory, and that was extremely unexpected, and then they went ahead and beat them again in Season 3 and have since completely dominated Season 3 to an extent that neither SG or BMG, I think, really were able to achieve this year. And sure, those teams left, and that really helped them, but the fact that Sync has played the entire year and they've gotten as good as they have, I legitimately think if you take the current Sync team from right now, you put them 9 months ago up against SG and BMG, and that's a three-way tie for me. I think they're as good now as those two teams were. The only difference is they've played the whole year, and that makes a difference.
That's always going to be up for debate. I mean, it was with Stay Green was their success, and how would they compete against Fnatic? It's one of those, unfortunately, we'll never get to actually know, but it definitely brings up for some good discussions and some fun talking points there. But yeah, I mean, you guys have definitely said a lot about this. It really, I couldn't see myself voting for Sync just because personally, I think both if they were to play against Stay Green and BMG, if those two teams stuck around, that sure they may be competing still as well, but I gotta think that Stay Green and BMG would still be on top. But so then those two teams, I honestly really wanted to vote for BMG. It is sure they didn't win the World Finals, but in 2014, which was the later part of Season 2, as far as the regular season is concerned into the playoffs, BMG was the better team. I mean, it wasn't... But then on top of that, too, there's even one other thing that Sync almost... You mentioned how they beat BMG in the playoffs, but Sync actually almost beat Stay Green at the World Finals in the semifinal match. They are actually close to defeating them and actually going to the Grand Finals themselves to face off against Stay Green. Or against BMG, excuse me. So, it really is so close. It absolutely is. I think I did end up voting, though, Stay Green in the end, just because ultimately they won the World Finals, and because of how close it is, hey, that just does it for me. You won the World Finals, you deserve it. So, what did everyone vote for? Well, as you would expect, this was not only a close two-way, but it was close all three ways here, as far as the end result is. But in the end, your winners for Best Team of 2014 was indeed your Season 2 champions, Stay Green. They did take it with a 38% vote. As you can see right there, though, both Sync and Bad Monkey Gaming finished with 31%. So a very, very, very close race and a very even voting amongst the community and everything, but Stay Green does indeed take it when it's all said and done. So a big congratulations to them once again. And let's one more time see if good old Swindlemelons is able to join us here and go over them winning.
Hello?
Swindle, welcome back.
Hey, long time no see.
Yeah, it's been a while again. Well, we're bringing you back because not only did you yourself win the Best Captain, but for the team award now, you guys, Stay Green, ended up taking out Best Team of the Year overall over BMG and, of course, Sync Esports. So I wanted to have you come back on and both congratulate you and your team, of course, but also anything you want to say here to the fans once again?
Well, thanks, really. I said this when we won last year, but this is the only award I ever cared about getting. And while I now realize that if I just voted for myself for MVP and got my extended family to do so as well, I might have won that as well. I might have won that one too, but That just doesn't really matter to me. I think that the real MVP award is your team, because Dota, Han, everyone contributes 20.
Oh.
Everyone contributes 20%. They're really honestly, they're like the same game. You all contribute
Well,
20%. There's no you can't really ever have an MVP because it changes from game to game. Not one person is ever responsible for the win or the loss. You know, you win and lose as a team. And
Yeah.
Quincy's talking about how Sync would beat us. I mean,
Hey.
you
I'm
guys
not
use the
saying
word
they would.
almost a lot. We almost lost a lot. Like, if you look
Yeah,
at every LAN we played except for the first two, we were consistently on the brink of elimination, and we would always win. And that is why they wouldn't beat us, because for some unknown reason we were never able to lose in the clutch as hard as we might have tried. And big thanks to the community for recognizing us. My dream was to always leave Han with the most LAN victories, and that's what we were able to do. Luckily, we won all of them that we attended, because otherwise we wouldn't have met that goal.
That might have been tough to do, yeah. All right, well, congratulations once again, Kyle, and again, best of luck over there in Dota 2. Definitely following, and hope for good things here in the near future.
Yeah, and don't worry, if Mickey abandons you guys, we'll dumpster him. No worries.
Take care of business. Fair enough. We'll look forward to that now. Thanks again, though.
Problem. All right, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See ya. That was nice. All right. So there you go. Swin Melons, of course, the former captain, I guess you could technically say, of Stay Green. There of best team of the year for 2014. So, and, you know, he did say a very similar thing last year. Pretty much the same thing in the sense of this is the award that he truly does care about the most. And again, it just goes back to why him winning the best captain award makes just so much sense. I mean, that attitude right there is that's what you want your captain to have.
Yeah. That's the perfect captain and leadership mentality. Like, he doesn't lead, he doesn't manage from the back. He leads from the front, and like, he is a team player as well, which you need from a leader, obviously. Otherwise, it's not all about the captain in that respect.
Yeah.
The reason why he is the MVP captain.
Indeed, indeed. Well, this show took a little bit longer than expected, but hey, it happens.
It's good fun.
It was fun, and we definitely got some good interviews in there, and congratulate all the winners once again. As far as that's concerned, 15 categories for 2014, and big shout out to all the winners, of course, and even the nominees. I mean, it's of course good fun for them. I'm sure we're not playing the music yet, Minnie. So
sorry,
it's not time yet.
Sorry.
Before we officially wrap this up, there is one thing now I want to announce before we do. That would be the where the hell is it? Did I really close it? Okay, well, let me pull it back up here real quickly. But this is another thing to kind of help look back at the 2014 year that was another great year in Han. The 2014 biggest plays made in Heroes of Newerth, and this is overall, not just competitive scene by any means, just overall biggest plays. Scumbag Network, they actually had a recent video that they released that had their biggest plays and their segment and everything. A lot of fun to watch as always. But our community events team, our CET team, they're also doing a special competition, you could say, as far as that's concerned, and they're actually going to be what's called the Han's Biggest Plays 2014 for video. Whoa, my freaking exploit just like froze right there. Okay, there we go. So as you see right here, it's kind of like a bracket. Every single day, there will be 2 new videos that are basically competing against one another that you, the community, vote for, and then whichever video wins the amount of votes after that day, it moves on to the next round. So it's a bracket format. There's 16 plays in total, so kind of like a tournament in that sense. And, it's good. It's just a lot of fun. Just to give you a reason to come back every day to this post here. This is in the CET section. The community events team section will also link it in forums or in chat. I'm sure somebody is as well. It'll be over social media, of course, as well on top of that. But check this out, guys. This starts today, the first 2 plays, and actually got a nice little preview for you guys as far as those plays are concerned. So I'm going to play these clips right here. Each one is about 30 to 45 seconds or so. So I'm going to do these 2 clips. These are the 2 that are for today. Optic Illusion versus Fire and Ice Don't Play Nice. Clever names right here from these guys. All right, so I'm going to mute Vemfer for now. A couple minutes here, then we'll come back and officially wrap this up. So here you go, guys. Here's the first video, Optic Illusion. There we go. So, as you can see, pretty fun plays right there. And that's just 2 of 16 in total that are going to be happening through these next couple of days. Those are pretty big plays. So they really were what...
Oh, my God. I'm still watching it.
Yeah, it's still catching up. I'm sorry. You can check it out on the forum. I actually linked it in chat as well. It's in the CET forums once again. You can check it out for yourself. Again, every single day that's going to be going on. You guys can vote for which play you think was bigger, and then it advances on through the brackets to eventually we'll get to a Final Four. And then have fun with that as, oh, that was the wrong, one sec. There we go, took that off. All right, so, but there you go, those are the brackets. Got some clever names here. Symphony of an Invincibility.
That silhouette, though, that was...
Yeah, I don't know, what do you guys think? I mean, I think
man,
those are 2
silhouette,
tough ones.
man. So that's, it not only was, like, he did the ulti, then the mana battery for the last auto attack, and then swapped out and get the kill as well. Oh, my, that was at least 4 big plays in one, man. Yeah. That was insane, without a doubt. That silhouette.
Those are both made by me, by the
sick.
way.
Oh yeah, you both. Yeah, I forgot
these
you
are all best plays
of
me in TMM games.
Yeah. Really?
No. All
right. Saintrox just appears out of nowhere.
I was just like, oh, this is a pretty good time to go to the bathroom. Why not?
Yeah. Speaking of that, excuse the rest of myself here. But before we do, we gotta wrap this up officially. So. I think that does come to a conclusion, though, for the Honcast Community Awards for 2014. So I'll go across the panel right here, as always. Have you get a chance to give your shout-outs. We'll start with Saint Rocks here. Saint Rocks, any shout-outs you want to make?
Yeah, shout-out to you guys for bringing me. It was great fun. Always enjoy talking to you guys and getting my face out to the community. That's why I'm streaming. That's why I just enjoy this. Hope I was valuable... co-streamer something.
You were.
Anyway, yeah. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to my stream, and I'll be streaming after this. I can do that. I streamed before this. I'm hosting Honcast, so if Honcast could host me right back there. I mean, I'm not, you know, anyway, yeah. I think that wraps it up. Very not nicely, but yeah. Shout out to everyone.
Thank you, Saint Rocks, for joining us. A lot of fun. Mini Mago, what do you got?
Shout out to my old streams. I do stream, but I've had trying to find the time recently for it. But shout out to all you guys. Don't worry, the Coco will be coming, and where they at though will be coming as well later. But shout out for having me. Shout out to the gloves, Saint gloves, Saint shades. There you go. Put it back on like a pimp. It was good fun, and I can't wait, Breaky, to start casting with you this weekend as well. I've had a longing for it, Breaky, in my loins. I need to start casting.
It'll be exciting to get back. It will be.
It's gonna be good, man.
Quincy, what do you got?
Shout out to, well, pretty much everybody. I had a pretty good 2014. I progressed up the ladder. I've enjoyed my time and doing what I want to do.
15-50,
So
don't you?
this is
15-50.
this is what?
15.
Oh, 1550. Oh no! Actually, I've lost MMR somehow. I think I was in the high 1600s and not anymore. So that's I'm good, man. I'm so good at this game. But shout out to mostly all of my co-casters for showing up occasionally. They don't always show up, but they do sometimes. Art of Fuzz, they're a lot, and Yummy Fa, they're good. Znaui, ALG, Beaverbanger, What You Got, Fuzin, Pingu, Shortcan, Anthos. There's a lot of other people, as well as IRL people, Frood, Radar, Borgle, We Are All Britons, Zentrix, Sneaky Doc, etc. Battleships, Dota 2 mod. Go play it, guys. We made it. It's good stuff. Oh. That's SpongeBob.
It's SpongeBob. And Patrick, of course.
It's Patrick's here, too.
Alright.
That's, you can see, I've got multiple SpongeBob dolls. It's fine.
We got...
and yeah, and Breaky and Honcast, too. Because people don't give you enough
No, they
credit.
Thank you, though. All right, shout out. We gotta get out of here. These guys are getting crazy. Okay, we shout out to you guys for tuning in. Shout out to 2014, another great year in the books, and shout out to 2015. What is surely going to be a great continuation yet again of the Han competitive scene, and many things to come. So not only do we got Han Tour Season 3 to finish up, playoffs and everything, and eventually into the World Finals, but hey, there could be some other stuff. I ain't leaking anything, but could be some other stuff out there. So looking forward to that. Anyways, thank you for tuning in. Have a good night. We'll see you next time this Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. Round 1 of Cycle 7 kicks off for Han Tour Season 3. You do not want to miss that. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Until then, have a good night. We'll see you then.